Welcome to the virtual tour. By viewing this tour, you will learn about the process for grading beef carcasses. Grading in Canada is performed by the Canadian Beef Grading Agency, or CBGA, which has been accredited for this purpose by the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. The objective of grading is to place carcasses into uniform groups of similar quality, yield, and value in accordance with national standards. This grouping facilitates marketing and production decisions and provides consumers with a consistent product. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you will find the information useful.
A carcass may be graded only after it has been inspected and has satisfied all food safety requirements. Quality and yield grades are assigned by a CBGA certified grader who must successfully complete a comprehensive training program and is regularly monitored. Grade assessment is performed for youthful animals, Maturity 1, as well as mature cattle from the breeding herd, Maturity 2. The attributes required to qualify for the D grades in carcasses assessed as mature include specifications for conformation or muscling, as well as fat color, texture, and coverage. Carcasses assessed as youthful are eligible for the Canada A, Canada AA, Canada AAA, and Canada Prime grades. A key consideration for these grades is the amount of marbling or intramuscular fat, along with meat color and texture. Muscling as well as characteristics of the fat are also assessed. Let's first take a look at quality grading. To assess maturity and qualify a carcass as youthful, an examination is conducted of the bone structure in the split carcass. The thoracic vertebrae are assessed to determine whether the cartilage is 50% or less in terms of ossification. Once cartilage is fully ossified, it becomes hard bone, which is seen in older animals. The lumbar and sacral vertebrae are also examined to determine how much hard bone is present. A younger age at harvest enhances tenderness, which significantly influences the overall eating experience. It is important to note that older animals, and especially those that are fed grain for a period of time before marketing, can also deliver great-tasting beef. The quality attributes that follow are discussed in terms of the requirements for the Canada A, Canada AA, Canada AAA, and Canada Prime grades for youthful carcasses. A well-muscled side will provide high yields and permits more efficient fabrication into cuts. The carcass should have a rounded profile in the region of major muscles. Canada's high-quality grades do not permit carcasses with deficient muscling. The color is assessed after waiting for at least 10 minutes following cutting, or ribbing, between the 12th and 13th ribs. When oxygen is present, the exposed surface of the ribeye is said to bloom. A bright red color is required and is highly desirable in the meat case. Beef texture must be firm to meet the requirements for high-quality Canadian beef and is determined at the ribeye. Texture influences how the beef feels in the mouth during chewing and is an important contributor to eating quality and consumer satisfaction. As for the lean meat, fat texture must be firm to the touch. The composition of the animal's diet can influence the quality of the fat and ultimately the flavor it provides. The color of the fat is assessed over the carcass surface and for the newly cut fat surface around the ribeye. Yellow coloration, which may occur in animals that have consumed grass for an extended period of time, is not permitted in Canada's high-quality grades. A minimum of 2 millimeters of fat is required at the ribeye measurement location. An animal that has less than the required amount will very likely also have deficient marbling. Without the insulating effect that the fat provides, the carcass may cool too rapidly and meat quality issues may arise. To assess marbling, the ribeye is evaluated for the amount, size, and distribution of intramuscular fat deposits. Marbling in beef provides flavor and juiciness while also lubricating the teeth during chewing. Fat is naturally more tender than lean tissue, so well-marbled product requires less effort to cut or chew. Official photographic standards are utilized to ensure consistent and accurate assessment of marbling levels. The required amount of marbling varies for each high-quality grade. Canada harmonized its system of marbling standards with those utilized in the US in 1996. The minimum marbling standards used for USDA Prime, slightly abundant, Choice, small, and Select, slight, are the same minimum standards used in Canada to segregate youthful quality carcasses into the Canada Prime, Canada AAA, and Canada AA grades, respectively. Now, we'll take a look at yield grading. When a carcass qualifies for Canada Prime or any of the Canada A grades, a prediction of retail cut yield percentage, an estimate of the amount of closely trimmed boneless retail cuts from the 4 primal cuts, round, loin, rib, and chuck, is made. In Canada, the highest yielding carcasses are assigned the Canada 1 yield grade. Yield grade is determined using a formula which considers the fat depth and ribeye dimensions at the grading site between the 12th and 13th rib. The length and width are measured at their maximum point and for width within the 2nd and 3rd quarter of the ribeye. The fat measurement is taken at a point 3/4 of the length of the ribeye from the split end. High-yielding carcasses deliver the most usable beef in addition to being the most efficient to produce on the farm. The Canadian beef industry is adopting the use of computer vision systems. This technology produces digital photographs of the ribeye and performs objective analysis of these images to assist with yield and quality assessment. Computer vision technology can enhance accuracy and consistency by making measurements more quickly than is possible using the human eye. The camera is placed over the ribeye, and lasers are utilized to ensure it is accurately positioned. Ribbing of the carcass must be done in a manner that ensures a relatively smooth surface for optimal results during this step. The camera shroud is placed over the ribeye so that the light from the flash is consistent in its brightness and wavelength. Following capture of the image, it is analyzed by a series of algorithms to determine yield and quality-related parameters that can be measured from the ribeye surface. The screen then displays the results, along with the carcass identification number. If additional quality or defect information is required, it can be manually entered using the touchscreen. The information is then stored and can be used for production planning during fabrication, as well as feedback to cattle producers.
Thank you for your participation in this virtual tour. I hope you were able to learn more about the procedures and national standards used to assign both yield and quality grades. Through its contribution to product consistency and quality, our grading system continues to be an essential component of the Canadian beef advantage.